welcome. Today I am making some gluten-free teriyaki meatballs made with ground beef, and we're gonna serve this over some cauliflower rice. It's super simple to make, guys, and it's pretty healthy. So I'm Rockin' Robin, and I'm gonna show you how to do it right after this. First things up, let's go over our ingredients. First up, I have my ground beef. I'm using grass-fed here because I like to use the best. We'll need a little ketchup, some brown sugar, and some tamari sauce. Tamari sauce, you can get it at the grocery store. It's near regular soy sauce, and it's just a gluten-free version. We'll need an egg. I've got some onion powder, garlic powder, some basil. Now for our sauce, I'm using chicken broth. You could also use beef broth or vegetable broth. I have some wine. I'm using just some inexpensive Sauvignon Blanc. And I know I'm gonna get this question, so I'm gonna address it here. You don't have to use the wine, but I think it just adds a nice flavor to the sauce. You could just substitute that with some more chicken broth. We'll need some arrowroot to thicken things up. We need some salt and pepper, a little bit of lemon juice, and some chives, and I have some toasted sesame seeds here that will go on top at the end. And then of course I have my cauliflower rice. I bought a package that's already riced, and to that I'm gonna add some diced up onion, really fine, and we'll need some olive oil. We're gonna start off by mixing our meat. Now I do have a pan here. I'm gonna be baking the meatballs in the oven at 350 degrees. My oven is now preheating, and it will be going ding ding pretty soon to let me know that it's ready. You could fry these on the stove, but I find that baking in the oven just makes it kind of easier. You don't have to tend to them so closely. They just do their thing in the oven and presto, they're done. All right, so I'm gonna take my ground beef and just place it into my bowl here. Next, I'm going to add my egg to this. Toss in the little ketchup. Makes it a little bit sweet, which is nice. Now we're going to toss in a few spices. We'll start with some salt, garlic powder, onion powder, some basil, and we'll finish it off with a little bit of cracked pepper. Now make sure you have clean hands, because now we're going to dive in here and just mix it up. You don't want to overmix, but you want to just get everything evenly combined. So now we're just going to form meatballs, you know, about this size here. I don't know, what is that, 1.5 inches to 2 inches? Maybe a little bigger than a golf ball, whatever you want. Make them a little smaller. And we'll just place them. My pan here has some parchment paper on it, and we'll just form these balls up. And once we get these ready, they'll go in the oven. Try to make them all the same size, pretty much, so that they'll cook evenly. All right, so now we got our last one in there. I got 4 times 2, 4, 6, 7, 28 meatballs, depending on how big you make them. And I'm gonna pop these in the oven for 30 minutes. Now, while our meatballs are cooking in the oven, we're gonna go ahead and put together our sauce. All the ingredients are gonna go in the bowl except for the arrowroot. Now, we don't put the arrowroot in because arrowroot tends to break down if it's simmered for too long. It kind of loses its thickening properties. So since I'm using arrowroot, we're gonna leave that till the last couple of minutes right before the sauce is done. If you wanna use cornstarch, you can add it now. We'll take our chicken broth here, and I'm gonna place it into a bowl. We're just gonna get this all ready to go, because we're gonna start cooking it on the stove. We're gonna add the wine, the tamari sauce, the brown sugar, and then we're gonna do our lemon juice. So we're just gonna add about a teaspoon of lemon juice. So I'm gonna put it in my, my little press here, and I'm just gonna estimate. Take a whisk and just mix it up. Now we're gonna head on over to the stove, and we're gonna cook our sauce and cook our cauliflower rice so that it's ready about the time our meatballs come out of the oven. So we're gonna get started here with our sauce. Now, we're gonna place everything in this big frying pan. And you'll notice I have quite a bit of liquid here, but I like a lot of liquid because I want a lot of sauce so that I can serve these meatballs over rice, cauliflower rice, or mashed potatoes, whatever I want. And I'm a big proponent of, you know, the sauce is really what makes it. So in my cast iron pan, I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil, maybe about a tablespoon or so. And I'm going to toss in the onions first to get them going, get them nice and soft. I have the temperature on my onions at about medium-high to start it off. Once the onions have cooked for about 3 to 5 minutes, and they've softened up, I'm going to add the cauliflower, which is only going to take another 5 to 6 minutes, depending on how soft you like yours. Now turn the onions down a little bit because they were getting a little too quick. So now those onions are nice and soft. It's time to add the cauliflower. Those onions are going to give this cauliflower some nice flavor. We're going to add a little bit of salt too to this. Now in the meantime, I've got my sauce over here. It's coming to a simmer now. And that's good because we want to simmer this for about, 8 minutes or so, 10 minutes, just to get that, like I said, cook out that alcohol a bit. All right, so I'm going to cover the cauliflower now. That'll help soften it a bit. And like I said, we're going to time that for about 5 minutes and I'll check it. All right, I just took the meatballs out of the oven after 30 minutes, and you want to test them with an instant read thermometer to make sure that the temperature is at least 165. So I'm going to add just a little bit of water to mix up my arrowroot. You can use water or chicken broth or any other kind of broth that you have, just some sort of cold liquid. So I'm going to pour this in slowly while I stir. I could use a whisk, but I only have a metal one and I didn't want to use it on this pan, so I'm using my wooden spoon here. And that's pretty much it. Now I'm going to just add the meatballs back to the sauce to reheat them. Get them hot again, make sure everything's nice and hot before we serve it up. So we're just putting the meatballs back in the sauce. The meatballs are done, let's serve them up. My cauliflower rice, and remember, you can use mashed potatoes would be great with this, or regular white rice, whatever you want, guys. A little bit there, and then we'll put the meatballs on top. My son came downstairs and said, "What smells so good in here?" And I said, "Well, we're making meatballs." And the other thing you can do with this is use this as an appetizer. You could just put toothpicks in the meatballs and put them in a little crock pot or something, and there you go, a nice little appetizer. I'm gonna use that idea myself. Okay, then I'm gonna put a little extra sauce on here because that's why we made extra sauce. I like sauce. It's always, for me, sauce makes the dish. And then to make it look really pretty, we've got some chives here, which I'm just gonna chop and just sprinkle a few on top, give it a little color. Sesame seeds, these are toasted already, and so that's a nice little addition as well, as you can see, and there you go. Let's give this a taste. I'm starving. Yummy, guys. I give this a 2 thumbs up. Just like my son said, it smells good, it tastes wonderful. So try this recipe, let me know what you think about it, and leave me a comment down below in the comment section. I want to hear from you, okay? And if you want to subscribe to my channel, click the subscribe button and the little bell next to it. That will notify you when new videos come out every week. So thanks again for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Do share it with anybody who's gluten-free, and you can certainly make this, not gluten-free as well, and it's still delicious. Remember, it's the sauce that makes a dish. All right, see you next time. Take care.